Okay guys, so today we're going to be reviewing volume of prisms and pyramids. So go ahead and take a look at your formula chart, find the title where it says volume, and underneath that you'll see prism, and for prism, volume equals big B times height, and for pyramid, volume equals 1/3 big B times height. So if you remember back to when we learned it, big B is the area of the base. So when you're looking at either a prism or a pyramid, you always want to start by calculating the area of the base off to the side. So there's two shapes of the base. Of course, we're always going to shade in our base, but sometimes the base is a rectangle. So if it's a rectangle, we want to look for area of a rectangle. So the area of a rectangle is base times height, okay? So if the base of the prism or pyramid is a square or rectangle, you're going to do A equals BH. If the base of the prism or pyramid is a triangle, we're going to use the formula for area of a triangle. So area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, so that's a calculation that you're going to do off to the side when you're calculating for volume. Then you're going to plug it back in for the formula, back into the formula to solve for volume. Okay, so over here to the right, we're going to look at what each letter represents. So we're looking at the formulas. V equals big B times height, and V equals 1/3 big B times height. So in both of these situations, the V, okay, so V here and here represents volume, okay, and then we have big B. So big B, right, is in both equations. And remember, this big B is different because big B means area of the base. Okay, and like we said, either the bases that we deal with are rectangles or triangles. And then we have H, and H represents height, but it represents either the height of the prism or pyramid, okay? All right, so we're not talking about height of the base. We're talking about height of the prism or pyramid. Okay. All right, so volume equals big B times height is used to calculate the volume of all prisms. And V equals 1/3 area of the base times height is used to calculate the volume of all pyramids. Okay, so remember, a prism has a set of two parallel bases, right? So you either have, let me draw some examples. So prisms, you either have a rectangular prism, right, which looks like a box. Okay, that's a rectangular prism, and you're going to have a rectangle as your base. Or you have a triangular prism, right? And most of the time it's going to be on its side. And so it kind of fools you into thinking, right, that it's sitting on a rectangle. But there's not a side that's parallel to that. The sides, the bases, I'm sorry, are the triangles, okay? And you know that because prisms, they come to an edge, right? It has a top edge, but they don't come to a point. So for pyramids, we have either a rectangular or square pyramid, which looks kind of like this. Sorry guys, I'm doing the best I can. Or it has a triangular pyramid. And with pyramids, all the sides come up to one point. So they come up to a tip at the top. So pyramid, everything comes up to a tip. So here we have a base of a rectangle, right? So we'd use area equals base times height for the area of the base. And here we have base of a triangle. And remember that your height is always going to be at a 90-degree angle, right? So height would be right here for the prism, but if we're talking about the triangular prism, you want to think about it sitting up on its base. So you want to tilt it up so it's sitting on the triangle. So right now it's laying down. So the height is actually going to be right here. It looks like a length, but that's the height of the prism. And then for a pyramid, again, the height has to go at a 90-degree angle up to the tip of the pyramid, okay, up to the top. All right, so now that we've gone over our notes, let's go ahead and take a look at a few practice problems. So we're going to do, we're going to start with number 1 together. Okay, number 1 says, Julie uses a tent like the one shown to go camping with friends. The tent is 7 feet tall, 10 feet wide, and 12 feet long. How many cubic feet of space is contained in the tent? So cubic feet means it's asking us for volume, okay? So first of all, we want to ask ourselves, is this a prism or a pyramid? So since all the sides don't come up to one point, it's going to be a prism. Now for a prism, what shape is the base? So it's sitting on a rectangle. Is that my base? No, because the only prism with a rectangular base looks like a box. So this one actually, the front and the back of the tent are going to be the bases. So I'm going to shade in my base so that I can make sure I have all the right dimensions, okay? So it's a triangular prism. And since it's a prism, I need to do volume equals, oopsies, sorry. Okay, volume equals area of the base times height. Okay, so remember, up at the top, we just said that we have to do area of the base off to the side. And I shaded in my base as a triangle. So I'm going to use the formula for area of a triangle. So area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 1/2. And now I'm looking at my shaded portion only. The base of my triangle is 10. And the height at a 90-degree angle is 7 going down here. Okay, so 1/2 of 10 times 7. Okay, so I'm going to look and I see this here is an even number, so I can easily take 1/2 of it. So 1/2 of 10 is 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Okay, so now I'm going to plug that in for big B. So I have big B is 35. And I need the height of the prism. So I've already used the 10 and the 7, so I can't use them again. So that leaves 12. But we know that this triangular prism, it's like laying on its side. So if we put it up on the triangle, on the base, the height would be 12 feet. So 35 times 12 is going to be my volume. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply 35 times 12. 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, put it 0, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 3 is 3, add it up, 0, 5 plus 7 is 12. 3 plus 1 is 4. So I have 420 cubic feet, or feet cubed. So my answer would be C. Okay, so the next one I want to go to, I want you to go ahead and skip down to number 5. Let's take a look at this one together. So number 5, it says the triangular pyramid has a height of 9 inches. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and draw that in because it says it has a height of 9 inches. Okay, it says what is the volume of the pyramid? So it's telling me it's a pyramid. So, and what shape is my base? If I shade in my base, right? So pyramids are always sitting on their base, right? I shaded in a triangle. So this is a triangular pyramid. So since it's a pyramid, I'm going to do volume equals 1/3 big B times height. And again, I'm always going to take my big B and do it off to the side. We said that my base is a triangle, so I'm going to do area equals 1/2 base times height. I'm going to plug in my numbers, 1/2, 4 and 4, so 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Half of 16 is 8. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. I keep my 1/3. My area of the base was 8. And the height of my pyramid is 9. So I'm going to check and see that, where's that? Here. Okay, so I want to see if either of these numbers are divisible by 3. So I know 9 is divisible by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. And I just have 3 times 8 is 24 inches cubed. All right? Answer is D. Okay, so let's do one more all the way through together. I want you to go back up to number 2. This one's a little challenging. So if we go ahead and read it together, it says Sam purchases 5 goldfish and an aquarium with a rectangular base. Okay, so rectangular base, and it's an aquarium. So all the rectangular based aquariums I know are rectangular prisms. Sorry. So it's like a box, right? So the aquarium measures 24 inches long. Man, our numbers are in words. So 24 inches long, 8 inches wide, and 10 inches tall. He fills the aquarium with water so that 1 inch of space remains at the top. How many cubic inches of water is in the aquarium? Okay, so always, we want to draw a picture. So I'm going to draw a picture. Okay. All right, I'm going to draw my picture, and let's see. I want to go ahead and make it, so I'm going to color in the base. Okay, and let me label the dimensions. So it says 24 inches long. So 24 inches long. It says 8 inches wide. And then 10 inches tall. Okay? Okay, so it says that they fill up the water, but 1 inch is remaining. So we have water all the way up until 1 inch, okay? So it doesn't go all the way up to 10, it only goes up to 9 inches, okay? So how many cubic inches of water are in his aquarium? So we want to set up our volume, and it's a prism, equals area of the base times height. I'm going to go over here. Our base is a rectangle, so area equals base times height. So 24 times 8. And then our height here, so let's do it real quick. 24 times 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 2 times 8 is 16, 17, 18, 19. So 192. Going to plug that in over here. So 192 times a height of 9. We're doing 9 instead of 10. All right, guys, keep working on the rest of your practice problems.